A good heist movie has a team of experts assembled by a mentor, who has been working for months to break into a ridiculously secure vault. They will have to bypass motion sensors, heat sensors, cameras and go on a mission with impossible odds to steal hundreds of millions of dollars. And it only succeeds as long as you don't get caught. But many thieves end up behind bars. In reality, robberies are sometimes just like that. In fact, some of the biggest heists in history are so weird and incredibly complicated that you'd probably consider them unrealistic if you saw them on the big screen. As you'll find out here, pulling off a heist isn't as easy as it sounds in the movies. These are the biggest robberies and heists in the world, in stolen values. Antwerp Diamond Heist. The Antwerp Diamond District is one of the most heavily secured places in the world, with billions of dollars of diamonds changing hands there every year. And it was there in 2003 that one gang of thieves pulled off one of the largest diamond heists in history. Even though most of the gang, known as the School of Turin, has since been arrested, the diamonds have never been retrieved. The man behind the Antwerp Diamond Heist, Leonardo Notarbartolo, was familiar with the area. He sometimes traveled there to pawn off diamonds stolen back home in Italy. While law enforcement believes that Notarbartolo was the ringleader, he has said that an unnamed diamond dealer recruited him. This unidentified man, Notarbartolo claims, paid him to take pictures of the vault's complex security system and created a replica of the vault. Then, with the help of a group of dealers, and Notarbartolo's School of Turin, the thieves devised a way to get into the secure vault. Finally, on February 16, 2003, they executed their plan. The thieves got through the 10 layers of security, previously thought to be impenetrable. They bypassed cameras, the combo dial, the keyed lock, magnetic sensors, the locked steel gate, light sensors, heat and motion sensors, and keypad disarming sensors. They used aluminum to trick the magnetic field and stripped the plastic from the sensor circuit wires. Then they carried bags of diamonds and other jewelry. It took them 2 hours to get everything out of the building, carrying with them a fortune of $120 million. But, thanks to one gang member, things eventually fell apart. That man was Pietro Tavano, known as Speedy and one of Notarbartolo's lifelong friends. However, Tavano didn't have his friend's level head. After the robbery, they hauled the diamonds into a couple cars. On the way back, Speedy had a panic attack, and made Notarbartolo pull the car over. Soon, Speedy was throwing the evidence into the woods. After calming his friend down, they recovered most of the contents and sped off. But they didn't realize they were on private property, which belonged to August van Camp, a Belgian hermit. He called the police because of the debris, which contained videotape film strung about, a half-eaten sandwich, dozens of small diamonds, and a receipt for a video surveillance system. It was enough evidence to link the crime to Notarbartolo. Notarbartolo claims that they only got $20 million of merchandise. Authorities say there is $100 million still missing. The Belgian courts sentenced him to 10 years in prison. The other robbers in the School of Turin got 5 years each. Nevertheless, Notarbartolo sticks to his story that he wasn't the ringleader of the Antwerp diamond heist, and has never led authorities to the whereabouts of the diamonds. The French Riviera jewel heist. On July 28, 2013, a man stole $136 million worth of jewelry from an exhibition at the Intercontinental Carlton Cannes Hotel on the French Riviera. The terrace doors of the opulent hotel should have been locked. But before lunchtime on a Sunday in July, a thief, whose face was covered by a bandana and a motorcycle helmet, managed to slip past them and directly into a showroom laden with millions of dollars in Leviev diamonds belonging to Israeli diamond and real estate billionaire Lev Leviev. Armed with an automatic pistol and an uncanny familiarity with the surroundings, the mysterious bandit began his assault. The thief was not faced with a particularly intimidating scenario. As the exhibition had not yet opened, there were no hotel guests or customers walking around. In fact, he had arrived at exactly the most opportune moment, just before the high-profile jewelry was placed in secure display cases. He had to deal with a small group that had gathered in the room: 2 salesmen, a show manager, and 3 unarmed private security guards. But the threat of the firearm imposed by him was enough to stop them. They watched as he seized a briefcase and a box full of jewelry. The shipment contained 72 pieces, 34 of which were deemed outstanding because of the gemstones' immaculate clarity, brilliant color, great carat weight, and their intricate cuts and polishes by master craftsmen. The loot included many high-carat, internally flawless colorless diamonds, along with large pink and yellow diamonds, emeralds and sapphires, set in platinum and 18K gold. The unidentified intruder escaped through a side door, but a source close to the investigation said he climbed a window, carrying $136 million in bounties with him, jumped about 5 feet into the street and fled on foot. Some of the jewelry came loose and scattered on the floor. Nobody chased him. The operation was the most valuable jewel theft in French history and one of the largest in the world, and all it took was a little brute force and about 60 seconds. The Dar es Salaam Bank Heist. The robbery at the Dar es Salaam Bank located in Baghdad, Iraq, is one of the best known in the country and in the world due to the amount of money involved and the few people who made the robbery possible. The robbery occurred in the year 2007, would have been an inside job involving 3 bank guards. The thieves stole about $381 million. Investigators in the case said that when bank employees arrived for work on Wednesday, they found the front door open and the money was gone. The guards, who normally slept on the bench, also disappeared, they said. As this theft took place during the Iraqi Civil War, 2006 to 2008, the Iraqi police's resources and reach were severely limited and no one was charged. Authorities believe it is likely that the men sought help from local militias as they could not have left the city otherwise, as the violence and conditions in the city were crumbling and quite unsafe at the time. To give you an idea of the extent of the violence in Baghdad, 18 people were killed on the same day the robbery took place. However, everyone agrees that it is easier to steal large amounts of money in wartime than in peacetime, as the Nazis demonstrated during World War II. That's why thieves definitely took advantage of the city's collapse situation and the distractions involving society, authorities and criminals. The biggest unanswered question, however, is how did a relatively small private bank come to have $381 million in cash? No one has ever been able to answer that question. Although authorities took the time to investigate the theft, to date no one has been arrested or any money recovered. Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum Heist. From start to finish, the biggest art heist in modern history lasted just 81 minutes. Late on the night of March 18, 1990 at around 1:24 a.m., 2 thieves tricked the young guards on duty at the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston into getting them inside. Dressed in stolen police uniforms, the robbers pretended to be police officers responding to a trouble call linked to the boisterous St. Patrick's Day celebrations taking place outside. Once inside, the criminals overpowered the hapless guards, disabled the security cameras, and proceeded to remove the 13 precious works displayed in the richly decorated gallery, breaking the protective glass of 2 Rembrandt paintings and cutting the canvases from their gilded frames. Just over an hour later, the thieves made off with an impressive art collection valued today at $500 million. The night guards, their mouths taped shut, remained trapped in the museum's basement until the police, called by the next set of guards to reach the museum, found them around 8:15 a.m. Among the stolen paintings are priceless pieces by Johannes Vermeer, Rembrandt and Edgar Degas. However, experts were intrigued by the artwork's choices, as the most valuable works were left untouched, such as the museum's most expensive work, The Rapture of Europe by Titian, which hung in a third-floor gallery. In 2013, the FBI announced that it had identified the two thieves with a high degree of confidence. In 2015, the organization revealed the names of its main suspects, George Racefelder and Leonard DiMuzio, two associates of the late mobster Carmelo Merlino. Both resembled police sketches of the criminals but died within a year of the robbery. Despite a flurry of press attention, years of investigation and a $10 million reward offered by the museum for the safe return of the items, the stolen works were never recovered and no one was ever arrested. And these were some of the biggest stolen value heists in history. If you know of other robberies as big and spectacular as these, let us know in the comments and maybe we'll do a second part of the theme. And if you liked the video, let us know, it means a lot to us. Thanks for watching and until the next video.